this dream of making a true artificial general intelligence system, something that is as intelligent and capable as a human being. And what the makers, the scientists, the promoters of this technology think is about to happen is unimaginable. And we try and investigate why they think this, why they're so excited to build it, why people are so passionately trying to stop them, how long this has been unfolding, and help people in their own way join the conversation that's happening inside of these tech circles, but also join this debate that I think is like slowly starting to spread through the country about like what we should do in the next few years as this technology gets developed.
You just said system.
System's like the best word for it.
But that's
what some of them say.
It's singular, not plural.
What some of them say is that we should not think of this thing that they're building. When they say they're building AI, instead of thinking about the chatbot, that it's better to think about something like a new species, an intelligent species rather than a product. And in some ways, this is a part of their selling point. You can go back to 2010, and this young guy, Demis Hassabis, whose story we tell on the podcast, fascinating genius kid. He has been playing competitive chess, beating adults since he was like 6 years old. He's a whiz kid in every way that we measure intelligence. But after he goes to, after he graduates with his degree in neuroscience, he and his co-founder, they start this company called DeepMind, and they go to Silicon Valley in 2010 with the expressed mission that they are not going to build the next hot tech product, but that they are going to truly build an artificial general intelligence system that will profoundly change the course of humanity forever. And of course, in 2010, most people don't take them seriously. They don't think that something like that is going to happen in our lifetime. They were able to find a few funders, including this guy, Peter Thiel.
Never heard of him.
But eventually, they were a part of a handful of companies and scientists that brought the technology across enough milestones to where we're in this moment right now, where not only are they not being called crazy, but we are funneling more money into Demis Hassabis and his collaborators' pockets than was being thrown at Steve Jobs and Bill Gates when they were creating the personal computer. And so whether or not you think they could pull this off, they think they can pull this off. Increasingly, our economy is riding on the bet that they can pull at least something like this off. Yeah. And so even though it sounds kind of outrageous to think about the creation of a new intelligent species that some believe will compete with us to dominate the world, it sounds like something from science fiction. It's not. And it may turn out 10 years from now, we're laughing at the fact that they thought they could pull this off and that some people were trying so hard to stop them. But in the moment we're in now, it's already consequential. And I think that it's time for people to join the debate. That's what I think.
I do think before we start laughing about this, like we will be crying a bit. Because as you said, like the whole of the economy is riding on a particular bet right now. Like the data center investment, like the stock market in general, it is all pretty much heavily leveraged on this particular bet.
NVIDIA.
This is the most important, the most valuable company in the world.
Yeah.
I think people wonder, like, they're playing with ChatGPT and they're hearing about how I might lose my job, it might get automated, and they're thinking, like, is that what AI is? But I think that's one of the things that we set out to do with this podcast, is to say that it is unlike any other technology. It truly is an attempt by these technologists to create something that there is almost no equivalency to in the history of technology. I mean, you hear the CEO of Google often saying that this is going to be more like the invention of fire than the invention of electricity. And the reason that he's saying that is because fire didn't just give us the ability to stay up later at night to see in the dark. It changed our diet. It changed our brain. Like, we became more intelligent, more capable, and we became this thing post-fire. And he's claiming that we're about to have another fire moment. And they think maybe it's going to be 30 years, maybe 20 years. But a lot of them, like Sam Altman, your friend,
I love that guy.
They're saying more like 3 to 5 years.
Sam Altman, Alan Turing, Peter Thiel, just how gay is AI?
It's
It's a gay conspiracy.
It's a gay
it's coming out of the closet right here on the fifth column.
Yeah, this lavender invention, as I call it. No, but you say, look, the chatbots is basically how people know AI. Your podcast goes way beyond that and scares the shit out of me. But it's one of these things. Let's ask a sort of libertarian question in the sense that everybody who's on the podcast is like begging, people like Sam Altman, begging for regulation, going in front of committees of Congress and being like, could you please regulate us? And it's like, and then, people saying, well, how about you? With the great quote, by the way, from Senator Kennedy from Louisiana, is like, well, could you regulate it? You seem qualified. It's just like,
Right. Well, the thing
guys
that you're
are
putting your finger on is that
It's kind of how regulation
One of
happens.
the-
Like, bring on.
one of the
but
things
the
that's
guy testifying.
well, one of the things that's just also so alluring, let's say, about this story from the perspective of being a reporter is that 10 years ago ish, some of the people who were the most worried about what might happen if we actually created AGI,
Yeah.
they were concerned not just about the economy, but about the fact that if we were to create a intelligent system, this essentially digital species, that once it reached this level of AGI where it's as capable and intelligent as a very smart human, then one of the jobs it would take would be the job of building the next AI. And then
destroying
now
us.
these two AIs
Yeah.
build the next AI, build the next AI.
Yeah.
And while that would be an incredible moment where we would have the ability to do things that they believe we could not do without it. They think that we will discover the mysteries of the universe. We'll have free and clean energy that will be able to solve almost every single problem that we have because this intelligent system will be able to spend all of its time focusing on that issue until it can solve it. But they think that it would be such a leap, such an explosion of intelligence that it might go from AGI to ASI, artificial superintelligence. And then at that point, it might come to not care about us. We would be dethroned as the most intelligent species on the planet. In the same way that an ape doesn't understand why someone would subscribe to the fifth column to watch this members only
nor do
podcast
any of us.
or
Yeah.
buy cool sneakers or care about the outcome of an NFL game. Like, we won't understand what they find interesting, and they will no longer think we're very interesting, and that could over time lead to our own extinction, or perhaps
You just
the
unplug
fact
it.
that
Just take the
this
plug out.
the people who were that concerned and who
Yeah.
were playing it out to that degree,
Yeah.
they were going around saying, like, maybe we have to make this really carefully, we have to be super collaborative about it. And now those are the very people who are leading the race right now. Like, the people who are trying to build it as fast as they can are the very people who were trying to go around. I mean, in Elon Musk's case, he went to the White House to tell Barack Obama, you have to stop this. You have to regulate this. And now fast forward, XAI barely has a safety team. I mean, they are trying as hard as they can to beat OpenAI, to beat their competitors. And you think, well, what happened? Did they come to think that it's less likely, it's less dangerous? No. They all slowly became convinced that someone somewhere is bound to build this thing. And that could be a dictator.
Sounds like Red China to me.
Yeah.
That could be some nefarious terrorist. That could even be, in the case of OpenAI, they were nervous that if Google built it, their desire to build it for profit would cause them to make shortcuts and go too fast and not put in the right safety measures. So OpenAI was built to say, we better make it before Demis Hassabis and Google builds it, because we will make it safe. And slowly, one after another, we get into a situation where, Dario Amodei, he was absolute AI doomer 10 years ago. He's right now trying to build as fast as he can. Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Demis Hassabis, the whole crew, all the top leaders, they just think, if I'm not the first one to build it, then it's probably not going to be safe. And so they've come here to think that, like, their acceleration is human salvation. Like, they truly have come to believe that. And I think it's just a way more interesting story than what you often hear, which is they just want to make a bunch of money, right? This is the standard. It's like they already have money. They're doing something far more interesting and strange. They think that they are about to profoundly change the world. And some of them think that, like, if they don't do it, the world will end. Like they are saving humanity by creating the super intelligence before China, before someone nefarious does.
So the libertarian cynic in me wonders if the Elon Musk, hitting up Barack Obama, please make it stop, or the other people who are like saying, oh, regulate us, were doing what tech companies have periodically done, is like when something gets too big, please regulate us. I will write the regulation. We will lock in my market share or position here. And Donald Trump changed his mind on this in a pretty huge way in the last 2 or 3 years. Correct my timeline or my sense of that. Or maybe they're just responding to like now there isn't, despite all this sort of technophobic Josh Hawley conservatism right now. Basically, the Trump administration's like, cool, David Sachs is my homeboy, and we're going to have like a full like AI like friendly administration, and so they have like seen the wind shift and have gone in that direction more than they've like caught some more like idealized version.
It is not that. I mean, what Moynihan was pointing at is that if you go back to right after ChatGPT surprises everybody, including OpenAI, by exploding on the scene and becoming this massive success, Altman and a few other folks from the AI industry are brought in front of Congress. And this is, 2022, 2023. I think it was November 2022 that ChatGPT 3.5 launched to the public, so it would have been the following spring.
Did he wear his little stupid hat?
He was wearing the dumb hat.
Yeah, he had two collared shirts on.
Yeah. He was the Steve Bannon of autistic AI people. Yeah.
But he goes in front of Congress, and we point out this on the podcast, but like, it's so striking.
It's like a patty
because
cake.
He keeps saying to them,
Yeah.
they're like, well, we might regulate you. And he's like, I think you should regulate me.
Yeah,
He's like, well, what if we let people sue you? And he's like, I'm pretty sure people should be able to sue us. Like, bring it. And he even says at one point, I'm not nervous that you will regulate me. I'm nervous you won't. And I do believe that was coming from a sincere point of view, not just of like him being nervous about the thing he's building, but about the industry and how if they go about recklessly creating this, once again, I'm not sure they're right, but they believe that if they recklessly create this, they not only could cause a economic catastrophe or whatever, they think they could end the human race.